roll call of the best and the brightest in baseball history. Great talent mixed with high-octane intensity can lead to an explosive brew. And over the years, high stakes have given us some of the white-hot moments etched into our baseball psyche. And now another chapter of Yankees Red Sox, as the teams with the two best records in baseball will spend 4 days at Fenway battling for American League East supremacy. So much at stake, so much to add to this rich history. Settle in. Next on Yes. Well, the scene has been set here at Fenway Park, and the scene is made even bigger because of what's at stake. Look at the standings. The Yankees trail the Red Sox by 4 games in the all-important loss column. All right, you set? It is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball tonight. It's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the first game of a 4-game set from Fenway Park here in Boston, Massachusetts. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. 4 big games when the schedule came out. You looked at these and said, wow, this could mean something. Probably means more than we even thought at the beginning of the season. So the Yankees, well, they're looking up right now at the Red Sox. What do they have to do in these 4 games? Because since they played, the Yankees are 14-11. Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox then, and the Red Sox went 19-5 on the Lowe's whole team together scoreboard. You look at all the numbers, and the only thing that's different, the Red Sox ERA much better, and in that time, the Red Sox have gained 4.5 games. And Paul, I'll tell you what, that's the difference in the standings right now. So coming into this series, what do the Yankees have to do?
Well, they need to play well. They've played well so far against the Sox this year. They have, they've held their own, but they are coming into a huge series at Fenway Park. I mean, you are chasing a team. These games are much more important to you. The Red Sox are trying to put you away. You're trying to stay in this thing.
Let's take a look at the pitching matchup in Game 1 of the 4-game set, brought to you by People's United Bank. Brian Johnson will be taking the mound in place of Chris Sale, who's gone on the DL. And for the Yankees, it's CC Sabathia. We know Sabathia's story, David, but we also know that part of the story, he has always pitched well against the Red Sox.
Well, he really has, and I think that's what made Brian Cashman's decision all the more easier to bring CC Sabathia back in the offseason. And you'd see, really throughout his career, he has matched up well against this Red Sox lineup, predominantly because they're fastball hitters. And Sabathia rarely throws straight fastballs. He stays up the barrel, reduces soft contact, and he's never overwhelmed by a big spot.
Well, he's going to have some big spots in that Red Sox order. Their offense is outstanding. Mookie Betts leads the majors in batting average. J.D. Martinez leads the majors in home runs and ribbies, and those two will be battling Mike Trout for the MVP. But none of those 3 is going to be facing Sonny Gray anytime soon as a starter. He's been removed from the rotation, replaced by Lance Lynn. Meredith Marakovitz has the story when we return right here on Yes.
I'm Meredith Morakovitz. It was announced today that Sonny Gray is in fact heading to the bullpen. I spoke with him earlier to gauge his reaction.
It's a little disappointing, but at the end of the day, I know that in order to be a starting pitcher, on this team in the middle of a pennant race, that you've got to perform, and I need to do a better job on the field in order to stay in the role that I ultimately want to be in.
There's countless stories of people kind of resurrecting themselves within the course of a season even. And when you have the equipment that Sonny has, a pitcher in the prime of his career that's healthy, that in a lot of ways, again, I feel like is really close, sometimes a good outing can get you jump started a little bit.
Lance Lynn will take Gray's spot in the rotation. He looked good his first time in pinstripes, throwing 4 1/3 scoreless. Aaron Boone saying it's a little easier to make this move knowing you have a veteran to plug into that rotation. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. First pitch coming your way after the break.
By Subway, try a signature wrap at Subway restaurants today. By Coke Industries, at Coke, we make things that make the world better. And by your local Kia dealers, visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. Well, so far a beautiful day here in Boston, inside Fenway Park. It is jammed as the Yankees get set to play the Red Sox in the first game of a 4-game set. Red Sox have taken the field, and we'll take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup, or the Yankees starting lineup, brought to you by Lexus. Center fielder Aaron Hicks leads off, batting second. Right fielder Giancarlo Stanton. Good numbers in Fenway. Didi Gregorius at shortstop hit third. Cleaning up second baseman Gleyber Torres. Miguel Andujar, the third baseman, bats fifth. Who would have thunk? 4 and 5 against the Red Sox, a pair of rookies for the Yankees. Greg Bird, the first baseman, bats sixth. Batting seventh, the newest Yankee DH, Luke Voigt. Austin Romine will catch. He'll bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing left field, it is Brett Gardner.
And this is who the Yankees will face. Brian Johnson. Been in the bullpen for the majority of the year, although filling in quite nicely. This will be his 7th start on the year, and his numbers are pretty decent across the board. Not a power guy, more finesse. And the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda deal. Who's to fill, obviously, with Chris Sale on the DL. This is his spot in his last 5 starts. He's got a 1.88 ERA, only 2 home runs in 24 innings, and southpaws beware. The Yankees are tough against lefties, Paul.
Aaron Hicks is ready. Johnson's ready. Let's do it here at Fenway. The first pitch is outside. And we are underway. Dan Bellino is the home plate ump. Adam Hamari at first. The crew chief, Phil Cuzzy, at second. Chris Conroy is over at third. Popped up. Behind the plate, first base side, and it'll make the seats out of play. Yankees come in at 68 and 38. 30 games over 500. The Red Sox are 68. Well, the Red Sox, check that, are 75 and 30 for 41 games over 500. And the 1-1. Pulled the string, 1 and 2.
That's what you're going to see from Johnson. A lot of off-speed stuff, a lot of changing of speeds. Yankee hitters, you got to stay back and not worry about being beat by the fastball. Like Aaron Hicks goes from series to series, Cody. Is 7 for 10 against Kansas City, and then all of a sudden kind of had a couple tough days against Baltimore. Ended up with a hit on the way out of town, so he shows up now.
All over the lineup too, as well, as this is kind of settled into Aaron Boone's left-handed lineup. When you're facing a lefty starter, Aaron Hicks is going to lead off. Brett Gardner's going to bat ninth.
Hit sharply in the hole. Backhanded by Holt, and he can't make the play. Hicks will reach. Let's take a look at the Red Sox defense presented by Geico. You've got Eduardo Nunez at third. Brock Holt's playing shortstop. Xander Bogaerts got hit on the wrist. He's out for a couple of days. The newly acquired Ian Kinsler at second. And Steve Pearce, former Yankees, over at first. Blake Swihart behind the plate. In the outfield, the Killer Bees. Benintendi in left. Bradley Jr., who could field with anybody in center. And Mookie Betts is over in right. There's a line drive base hit off the bat of Stanton, who has hit the Red Sox hard this entire season. And the Yankees first and second, nobody out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a rocket, and you know that's the key of Hicks getting on base. That you're going to have to pitch to Stanton before we can get that out of our mouth. I mean, there's no reaction whatsoever to this. 119 miles an hour off the bat there. Absolute rocket.
He almost ducked after it was by him.
Wow.
That's the scary part of being on the mound.
Gets your attention quick, doesn't it, Cody?
Get your heart rate up.
Here's Didi, but first the inside move to second. Chasing back Hicks.
I was kind of looking up and down the games that the Yankees and the Red Sox have played. When the Yankees score, they win. When they don't, I mean, you know, if they score big numbers, a lot of games, you know, they've won. They've scored 7, 8, 9 runs, and in the games that they've lost have been basically very low scoring games. So Fenway usually plays to that, Coney. If you remember here, a lot of weird things happen. A lot of runs are scored.
The first blood too, scoring first, kind of still means something even in this ballpark. Especially, you know, he mentioned in the pitcher scout report how good the Yankees are against left-handed starters. A major league best 24-6 when facing a lefty.
Driven deep to right field. Going back, still back, and that ball's gone. See ya! A 3-run home run for Gregorius, and the Yankees with first blood. It's up 3-0.
Tell me it's a normal game when you get guys on the front step in the first inning, boom, and I tell you, Didi got them off to a great start. Always good bats against lefties. Before you look up 3-0 and there's still no outs.
Here's Gleyber Torres. Pitch inside, 1-0.
He's not fooling anybody, excuse me, Michael, so far. I mean, well-struck baseballs, all 3 so far.
1-1.
That fastball just kind of creeps over the inside part of the plate. Didi knew he got it immediately. I'll tell you, this is a deep part of the park in Fenway Park. Wind not holding the ball in. Warm night. The ball will carry.
As Paul said, on the top step. And Gleyber Torres, the first out of the game as he swings through a high offering, and there's one down. Didi with his 19th home run of the year now has 63 runs batted in. That'll bring up Miguel Andujar. Strike. 3-0 Yankees. Before you could settle down. Popped up left side. Brock Holt makes the play. 2 away.
Didn't have your voice warmed up yet there, Michael. Boom, you're calling a 3-run homer.
Let's take a look on StatCast AI, powered by AWS. Exit velocity under 100 miles an hour. Launch angle 25 degrees. It traveled 383 feet, and that all adds up to a 3-0 lead. Here's Greg Bird. 1-0. Some ominous clouds over the left field grandstand here at Fenway. Brighter skies right side. Two and 1. What are you hearing, Doppler, Paulie?
There are some storms around, not a lot. There looks like the big storms went just north of here. We might have to play through a little rain, but I think we're going to be all right, according to my trusty radar.
Grounded foul. You know, big season. You know, a lot of people watching, so we've added Doppler Paulie to the broadcast, which I think is important.
Well, looking at this, it's going to rain.
2-2. Lined into center field. That's a base hit for Bird. So Johnson not exactly neutralizing the Yankee lefties. A 3-run home run by Gregorius, and now a single by Bird. That's going to bring up the newest Yankee, Luke Voit.
Talk about getting thrown in the mix quick, huh, Cody? Get called up and boom, you're in the ball game.
He's not a little guy.
No, big fella, big husky fella. I was watching him take batting practice. Yeah, he kind of, there's a presence about the way he walks around.
Pitch outside. They got Voit from the Cards and the deal that sent Shreve to St. Louis, and also Giovanni Gallegos. 1-1. Hit the other way and deep. Going back is Betts, and he runs it down for the final out. But the Yankees draw first blood. 3 runs on 4 hits. The big hit off the bat of Didi Gregorius. When it lands, it's 3-0 Yankees as the Red Sox are coming to bat. Texas. Mookie Betts leads off. He'll play right field. His numbers are great. Left fielder Andrew Benintendi bats second. Steve Pearce at first base hits third. Cleaning up the DH, J.D. Martinez. Ian Kinsler at second base bats fifth. Batting sixth, the third baseman Eduardo Nunez. Blake Swihart will catch. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing shortstop Brock Holt. And Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field will bat ninth.
And the big lefty up here at Fenway. Going to try to bring it on home. Staked with a 3-0 lead. A solid year across the board. He doesn't give away a lot of walks. He can still strike you out. Not like he once did, but guy knows what he's doing out there.
And there's a strike to Betts.
Let's give you a little bit more on our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And it really is the trust factor with Sabathia. The whole team trusts him. He's a leader. Brilliant against Boston. Last 6 starts. 5-0 with a 1.95 ERA. And really the key now, I think, is manage the workload with CC. You need him throughout postseason. When he gets to the 3rd time through the order today with the bullpen fully rested, I would imagine Aaron Boone probably is going to go to him a little quicker than we've seen so far.
Coney, I was kind of talking to you before the game about just, you know, if you're Aaron Boone, you're thinking, give me 15 outs. Get me through the 5th inning. I have no problem with a lead going to my bullpen, top of the, bottom of the 6th inning.
It's not just about, the batting average going up against CC, or really against every starting pitcher throughout the league, but especially with Sabathia. He's been burned with some big home runs.
Right.
3rd time through the order, in the middle of the order. His slugging percentage almost doubles, up in the mid 600s.
Mookie Betts is a tough out, and he's been a really tough out against Sabathia in his career. Such a big inning, though, to throw up a 3 spot and to come out here and try to get through this 1st inning with a 0.
Rip foul.
Well, the Red Sox should really have 2 legitimate MVP candidates, and that's how you have the kind of pace they've had. That's how you end up 75 and 34 at this point in the year. This guy, along with J.D. Martinez, are going to garner a lot of votes.
Missed outside, so Betts works the leadoff walk. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees defense, which is presented by Geico. In the outfield, Gardner, Hicks, and Stanton. That's left to right. In the infield, Andujar, Gregorius, Torres, and Bird. That's 3rd to 1st. Austin Romine behind the plate. Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound.
Benintendi, another guy that has kind of been a thorn in the side of the Yankees, especially in Yankee Stadium. Young phenom, but he's really quick inside. Tough guy to get inside on. Since he almost launched that one down the line.
One of the rare pickoff moves we see.
Say, you don't see it very often.
One 1-0 to Benintendi. Last 18 games for Benintendi, hitting .377, and that has pushed his average to .296. Woo! 1-1. Red Sox will score runs. They're 1st in baseball, 5.2 runs per game. That looked low.
Just at the bottom of the zone, he got the call. It's a big call there. You don't want to be 2-0.
Now it's 1-2.
CC has a lot of success with that 2-seam fastball in on lefties. That one he left out over the plate. You really got to get that ball in. Talked about how quick Benintendi is on that ball inside. Make sure you bury it in there.
Served into left field, coming on is Gardner. He'll make the play. One down. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. This is not the Paulie Doppler weather. This is the Bigelow Tea weather. 88 degrees, humidity 60%, wind 15 miles per hour. It's hot, it's humid, and there's a chance of a shower. And there's Doppler Paulie.
See that? It's gonna rain. A lot of empty space back there behind it. Just a light shower, Michael. We can play right through.
All right.
Cool things off a little bit. I was worried about you today on a hot day like this in your truck.
I made it. Here's Steve Pearce. Runner goes. Pitch is high. Throw to second. Stolen base for Betts.
What's weird about the Boston Red Sox is good as they are offensively, they run too. They steal bases. Mookie Betts. CC Sabathia, it's known he does not like to throw the ball over there, so you know why not get an extra step on your lead? Not much of a chance for Romine.
They say that he went around, so 1-1.
Looked like a foul tip.
And that's what the umpire just signaled. Splitting time with Toronto and Boston. A very quietly strong pickup by the Red Sox getting Pearce. And there is the foul ball. He has certainly taken his tour of the American League East. One and two.
A lot of talk up here in Boston about Dave Dombrowski, the GM, not getting the big relief help that was predicted. But the moves he did make, including Pearce, was a nice addition, and Ian Kinsler is a perfect fit at second base for them, with Pedroia probably out for the season.
High fly ball. Shallow center. Hicks is there to make the play. You know, he tried to get Britt Dombrowski, and this is from the Boston Globe. This is not me saying it. Double-A and Triple-A for the Red Sox is barren. They've used those players in previous trades. The Chris Sale trade, he just did not have the collateral to transfer to Boston to get Britton. Britton might make them the overwhelming favorite to win a World Series. They are looking now for that eighth inning guy to hopefully beat Tyler Thornburg.
Of course, they did get Nathan Eovaldi to boost their rotation a bit, who the Yankees will see in this series.
J.D. Martinez takes a strike. What a free agent signing for the Red Sox.
Hey, Michael, do you see anything falling from the sky out there?
I believe it's rain, DP. There it is. It's always a bad sign that after the lineups have been exchanged at home plate, the head groundskeeper comes out to the umpires with an iPad. He's not showing them the latest website. He's showing them the radar and what to expect and when it should come. And it has come now. The 0-2. Rounded to short. Gregorius will get Martinez, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left on base. We played one in Boston. Yankees lead this 3-0. Time for today's conversation, brought to you by Toyota. The Camry Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Do you like the current MLB playoff format? Why or not? Charlie Bowman said the wild card game is great, but they should reseed after that, eliminate the possibility of the two best teams playing each other in the division series. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid. Keep the conversation going. I agree with Charlie. I think that's a really good idea, because one of these two teams is going to play the wild card game. After battling for 162 games, and boom, they're going to face each other in the first round. Is that fair with teams with lesser records advancing to the American League Championship Series? Not a bad idea. One and two on Romine as we start the second. Yankees lead this 3-0 on the Gregorius first inning homer. Rain continuing to fall here at Fenway at a pretty nice pace. Fouled away into the seats.
The Yankees would love to get Johnson right back in the stretch. Roll over the top of the lineup again. Gardner's on deck, batting ninth. Pretty good when you're a leadoff hitter for the Yankees and you get your second at bat in the second inning.
Swing and a miss. Romine down on strikes, one away here in the second.
Johnson really pulls the string here. You see breaking ball, Romine way out in front. And it changes speeds on that breaking ball once in a while, Cody.
That's his best pitch. You know, we talked about his velocity only being in really the upper 80s, well below average by Major League Baseball standards.
Brett Gardner batting ninth tonight, takes a strike on the inside corner. One and two. Gardner a modest 4-game hitting streak. 5 for 20 on the just completed Yankee homestand. You know, no one with the Yankees, not one person pulled any punches about that game yesterday. Disappointed in it. Unacceptable. Nobody tried to put the proverbial lipstick on a pig. That's how bad a game it was, and they just embraced it and said, now we have to be better.
Very easy to turn the page when you're coming into Boston in a big 4-game series, but you know, you did let one get away from you. Brett Gardner just fooled right there. Good curveball by Johnson.
It's the mental mistakes, you know, the lack of concentration that really bothers you more than anything. The physical errors are going to happen. Not hitting and runners in scoring position, you give credit to the pitcher. But not covering bases, not doing the little things that just come down to concentration and awareness.
I watched Torres's interview after the game, and you know, he was down, and you know, there's a game that you just hit 2 home runs, one being a 3-run, and you go home feeling bad about the way you played. So there is 2 sides of the ball, and you know, I just feel like the Yankees realized what happened yesterday, but you can't dwell on it. I mean, you make a road trip the next night to this series, you can't dwell on it. It's over.
Long drive to right field off the bat of Hicks, going back. Betts on the track. See ya! A home run for Aaron Hicks, and it is 4-0 Yankees.
I'll tell you what, coming into this series, you knew that Aaron Hicks is going to have to pick up some slack with Judge out, and he's really taken off. 7 for 10 I talked about earlier against Kansas City. A little break against Baltimore, and then off to a great start to this series so far tonight.
18th home run of the year.
It's a new career high every time he hits another one. And again, right center field, not a hitter's paradise, but a warm night in Boston, wind not blowing. That ball went over the bullpen into the stands.
1-0 to Stanton. Foul back.
Wow.
1-1. Two and one. Three and one. 10 games against the Red Sox, 15 for 34, 6 extra base hits, 7 ribbies. Had 119-mile-an-hour exit velocity, single up the middle in the first inning. And the rain falling hard here at Fenway.
Yeah, but over to the left, it's starting to get bright again, so they might be able to just play through this, and we should be all right.
Swing and a miss. Stanton down on strikes as Johnson strikes out 3 in the inning. But a little rain fell into this inning in the form of an Aaron Hicks home run. When it lands over the bullpen, it's 4-0 Yanks. Just a bit there, you see the Paulie Doppler.
See that? I'm circling it on my screen there. I've never seen that before.
Well, it tells you that the rain is hopefully going to move through, and it has certainly lessened over the last couple of minutes. It was coming down pretty hard. We go to the bottom of the second. Good start for the Yankees in this big 4-game set. A 3-run home run by Gregorius, solo shot by Aaron Hicks. Here's Ian Kinsler. Before they acquired Kinsler, they actually called up Dustin Pedroia to explain what was going on, not to be surprised, because they cannot operate under the assumption that Pedroia is coming back this year. And they said if he is, we'll certainly make room for him, but we had to make a contingency, and the contingency is Ian Kinsler. And it's amazing that this team is on pace to win 111 games, and they played essentially this whole season with a former MVP out. No Dustin Pedroia, who's kind of the heartbeat of the team.
Well, Kinsler profiles perfectly in this lineup and this ballpark. He's a fly ball hitter here at home at Fenway. Obviously, that works well to left field. He's a great defender and a good base runner. even towards the end of his career, still has all those skill sets.
And he has postseason experience, guys. He played in the World Series with Texas in 2010 and 2011. In 37 postseason games, a .291 hitter. So he's been there, done that. And the Red Sox are hoping that they go deep into the postseason. They need somebody like Kinsler. Four-time All-Star, Gold Glove winner.
Swinging the bat very well lately, too, before the trade.
He had one of the best quotes. I remember he was very upset when he was traded from Texas. And you see his last 14 games above 400. He was asked what he thought about Texas when he left there. He said, I hope they lose every game. He wasn't going to pull any punches. So, not real happy, but he ended up doing pretty well in Detroit.
See, I love that quote because I think most people think it, but they go, oh, I've got friends on that team. I want them to do well. No, you don't.
They can do well as long as they lose. Huh?
Right. 2-2. Still 2-2.
You see so far, here we are in the second inning, the length of the at-bats. And it's not because the pitchers aren't throwing strikes. It's just the hitters. You know, they battle. They foul off pitches. They're long counts. And that's all about just people that know how to hit and know how to set up counts.
Ripped into the seats and left. There's Chris Sale. He was supposed to start tonight, but put on the DL with mild left shoulder inflammation. Said that if this was a really big game that the Red Sox had to win, he would be pitching. And the Red Sox admitted they're being very conservative with Sale. And if he's not seriously injured, this little stint on the DL might play in his favor because the only blemish on his resume is that he takes a downturn in September. He's a smallish guy, throws hard. His ERA jumps about a run in the month of September.
It's a good point. And managing the workload is so important, and he really has been on an incredible run. His velocity's been up too. Sale has over the last 6 weeks or so.
Broken bat, looper into left, the base hit. As Kinsler wins that battle, a leadoff single here in the second. Take a look at the Red Sox team scouting report, which is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, Paul.
Well, they are on a historic pace, on pace to win 111 games. Betts and Martinez, I mean, they're a big part of this offense. You've got to keep them under control. You know, leading Major League Baseball is in over 5 runs a game. But they can run too, which we saw earlier with Betts stealing a base. 82 stolen bases, which is 3rd in the major leagues. But the highest success rate in baseball at 83%, which is off the charts good.
Here's Eduardo Nunez, former Yankee. Playing third with Rafael Devers on the DL with a hamstring injury, and that kind of opened up second. That's why they got Kinsler. Runner goes. Grounded to third. And Duhar across the diamond. Just got him. Almost took a little bit too much time. As Kinsler advances to second, Red Sox will look at that replay.
I know Andujar's heart's fluttering right now as you watch this.
No, it's going to flutter worse.
Yeah, because I think he's in there.
He took too much time to load up.
Nunez gets down the line quick, but again, this is an easy play, catch, and get rid of it.
The crowd sees the replay on the board, so they know it's going to be overturned.
Yeah, they've really worked with Andujar on his throwing action. He's gone down to a lower 3/4 angle release, but it's a little bit longer. When he made the diving play yesterday, he got up and just fired that ball with
overhand too,
right over the top.
Well, they're taking a while to look at this in Chelsea in downtown Manhattan, and it is overturned. So a base hit for Nunez.
That's a big play, you know, 1 out. If you're CC, you can battle your way. Now all of a sudden, you know, you're 2 men on, nobody out. This all started by just a battle with Kinsler, who, you know, ended up hitting a jam shot into left field, but fouling off a ton of pitches.
So that's going to bring up Blake Swihart. Out of options when he came to spring training, and Red Sox were set at catcher, so he became a super utility guy. He's played 7 different positions this year for the Red Sox. In 33 games, he's caught, DH, played left, first, right field, third base, and second base. Now with the injury to Christian Vasquez, though, he's back behind the plate. And CC jumps ahead 0-2.
Don't see this much from many hitters now with no batting gloves, especially on a wet night. Sometimes your hands can kind of slip over that pine tar.
And the pitch. 1-2. Well, the skies have cleared considerably. The rain has stopped.
Did I nail that or what, Mike?
You really did. Look at that. That's a postcard right there. Another postcard. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Sabathia. 1 away.
Cody Iwatesa, you don't need 95, 97 all the time if you set up for the right spot. 90 miles an hour, but up in the strike zone after a couple off-speed pitches. Supposed to be in. He did get it up.
Like he surprised Swihart there.
Let's see what this could be about.
A lot of times you think possibly you know, your signs are being picked up from second base. I don't know, Coney, did you worry about that? Some pitchers are obsessed with people trying to steal signs from second base.
Well, the key is that you're all on the same page, because Didi Gregorius at shortstop has to pick up the signs to be able to relay to Torres who's going to cover on a double play ball and a ground ball. You just want your middle infielders to be on the same page if they're going to switch up the sequence. No signs here on the first pitch after discussing it.
And the pitch to Brock Holt is a strike.
If you're going to do it, that's the time to do it, to start out an at-bat to where you can go with no signs.
Right. I'll tell you, that pitch right there, really, it's I mean, it kind of sets up the whole at bat to a lefty, because now you know that he wants to throw strikes inside, not to show it to you. Folks, that's not rain, that's sweat coming off CC's bill of his hat. It was humid and hot today. I don't think I've ever felt it this hot in Boston, huh?
Yeah, we're used to the other way around. In April being very cold up here, or September.
You can see CC wanted that last pitch. His reaction, thought he got it, but look at that, just drenched.
Like just off the plate.
So 3-1 on Holt.
Still kind of looking to establish that two-seamer you talked about, Paulie, on the inside corner. Hasn't been able to find it as of yet.
And the bases are loaded as Holt walks.
Cody, this is why I think that, you know, you keep that lineup balanced even against tough lefties. Is, you know, you just strike out Swihart, a righty, and you have a good feel, and all of a sudden you've got to switch up your pitching, pitch to a lefty, and in that sequence really never found the release point to a lefty.
It's true that sometimes it is more difficult for a starter to bounce back and forth. You have your formula to pitch against lefties and righties. And sometimes if you have to bounce back and forth, you can lose your release point.
There's Jackie Bradley Jr. and CC wants to get this right. Second mound trip. And there's some history here where for some reason no one's ever really been able to get to the bottom of it. CC gets aggravated by Jackie Bradley Jr. We've seen it through the years. So we'll see how he deals with him here. Certainly no messing around with the bases loaded and Jackie Bradley Jr. at the plate. Batting ninth, hitting .215, but he's earning his salary just the way he's playing center field.
Dangerous pitch there, high, out over the middle of the plate. Kind of a spinning breaking ball or cutter. It just didn't have much action to it.
Oh and 1 on Bradley. Bases loaded, 1 out. Yankees lead 4-0, bottom of the second. 0 and 2.
Again, fastball supposed to be that two-seamer in off the plate, Coney, and you can't adjust to the point where, like, all right, I'm going to bury this thing because bases loaded. The last thing you want to do now with 2 strikes is hit a hitter.
One and 2. Strike 3. Bradley down looking. He did not like the call. Another big strikeout for Sabathia.
That all starts with kind of the hesitation. I think CC Sabathia is getting ready to yell in there too. Looked like a really good pitch. A lot of plate.
Right down the middle with the knees. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s got no grief there. He thinks he does, but when he goes back and sees it on the video, he'll see.
Yeah, it was just a long strike call, especially for a strike 3. You kind of get your mind made up as that definitely is a good pitch.
There's Mookie Betts. He walked in the first inning and stole second base. The .338 that leads the majors in batting average.
Coney, this has got to drive you crazy as a pitcher. Here's a guy that can get to the ball inside and cover the ball away. I mean, how do you go about trying to use both of those angles when he can cover them both?
And nowhere to go here either with the bases loaded.
He's been slumping in the last 12 games. 10 for 51, 196. In the 9 games against the Yankees this year, a .400 hitter. And now 1 pitch away from forcing in a run. Betts has the second highest slugging percentage against left-handed pitching with a minimum of 100 plate appearances. Arenado's first, Betts second, Stanton is third. See if they green light him. Taking 3-1.
It's a big plate, big strike zone, 3-0 count, Coney. What's up with that?
The count matters.
Yeah.
It's got plenty of plate. It's at the top of the zone, maybe. line. Another look from the side.
And that forces in a run. Kinsler will score. And it's 4-1 Yankees. And also take note of the pitch count on CeCe. He's closing in on 50, and we're in the second inning.
I think CeCe's really frustrated. He didn't get that call. Walked away in frustration. Here comes Larry Rothschild to try to slow things down, but then kind of peeked in there and asked, is this ball inside? Looked like a pretty close pitch.
Is this, let's give him a breather discussion more than anything else?
Yes, absolutely. Take a break. Especially when you walk in a run. You know, that's unsettling, obviously, for a starting pitcher or any pitcher. It's a good visit right here by Larry Rothschild. Just get on the same page once again. Figure out what you're going to do the first couple of pitches against Benintendi here. You have the platoon advantage.
You see Bellino and CeCe talking seemingly amicably about the ball strikes in the last at bat. The Yankees have chewed up 3 of their 6 mound visits in this half inning.
CeCe can regroup here and get Benintendi. It's not the worst thing in the world. The Betts didn't bang one off the wall or worse.
Benintendi with a fly ball to left in the first inning. One and 0. Along with David Cohn, Paul O'Neill, and Meredith Maragovitz, I'm Michael Kay, and we thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening with us. The rivalry continues. Yankees Red Sox. Game 1 of a 4-game set here in New England. 1-0. 1-1.
CeCe still pounding Benintendi in, and you see he's able to get to it, but that was a good enough pitch in on the inside corner that he had to pull foul.
One and 2.
Same situation last time up. Benintendi flicked that little slider away out to Gardner. So in your mind as a pitcher, I'm sure, Coney, I made that pitch and he still got to it. You might want to go to something else.
Well, it's slider down and away. It's soft away or hard in. The two-seamer in on the fist. Sabathia rarely, almost never throws a changeup, his third pitch, to a left-handed batter.
Nunez at third, Holt at second, and Betts is at first. Betts with the RBI on the walk, his 57th ribby of the year. 4-1 Yankees, bottom of the second. Nice block by Romine. He saved a run. 2-2.
Anticipated a slider down. This isn't well in front of the plate. Romine turning his body slightly to keep the ball in front of him.
Another 3-2 count. And there is some stirring in the Yankee bullpen. People walking around, nobody throwing just yet. And there's some stirring in the crowd here at Fenway. This building opened up in 1912 and has seen many Yankee Red Sox clashes. And just one more for the ledger. Runners will go 3-2 and 2 outs. High fly ball, deep left field, going back. Gardner on the track. He makes the play for the final out of the second. Red Sox get one. They leave the bases loaded. We'll go to the third. Price for $59.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. The man in the middle is John Littner. He's the president of our network. That's his son David to his left, and that's his new friend Charles Oakley to his right. So the Oak Man is here, watching the Yankees and the Red Sox. So CC gets out of trouble by getting Benintendi to fly to the warning track in front of the monster. 4-1 Yankees lead. And here's Gregorius. And there's a strike.
You really feel like Sabathia dodged a bullet last inning. Even though he walked in a run. 3-2 slider up out over the plate. Benintendi just missed it.
J.G. Martinez on deck. I mean, that inning wasn't over.
I know you felt this way when we played here. You just got to keep adding on. There's just never enough. Even though you jumped up, you got 4 runs. And
I almost brought that up last inning. It's kind of a reminder, you know, even when it's 4-0, you know, these games are never over here. Something always is on the burner offensively on both sides.
Fouled away, left side. Falls untouched in front of the camera well. Last 22 games, Didi starting to hit like it's April again. Putting May in his rearview mirror. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not, said Chris Conroy. Now you look at the infield here at Fenway, they put some drying agent. It rained pretty hard and they didn't get the tarp on. They didn't want to do that. Paul, does it have an effect on the track?
I mean, not the first round. I mean, when you start putting 2 and 3 rounds on it, yeah, it gets a little soft on top. But right now, the field should be in good shape.
Is it true that the drying agent, like most agents, soak up about 10% and that's about it?
Yeah, that's why they keep adding it to it. By the time you get to the 3rd or 4th round, not good.
2-2. Rip foul.
You see a lot of lefties kind of give to a breaking ball because, you know, the perception when you're hitting is that breaking ball is coming right at you. And then it kind of breaks over the plate. He is able to keep that front shoulder just in there the whole time, which gives him the ability to really hammer that inside breaking ball.
Strike three. Gregorius down looking.
Well, that's a frustrating at bat because, you know, you fouled off a lot of tough pitches, and then this ball to me was kind of down.
Well, he obviously rung up one of the Red Sox hitters last inning. But Jackie Bradley Jr. didn't like the call. And turnabout is fair play, I guess, even though that one was even a little bit lower. The Jackie Bradley Jr. one was in the zone. That was borderline at best. You can't help it. You think that umpires are trying to call them both ways. It's one of the
Trying to even things up.
One of the oldest cliches in the game, both ways.
Two and one on Torres. Torres struck out in the first inning. Here's the scoring for the Yankees. Hicks, a single in the first. Stanton, a single in the first. Gregorius, a home run, 3-run shot. In the second inning, Hicks, a home run, and that's the 4 Yankee runs. And usually at Fenway Park, you envision home runs flying over the Green Monster. Both Gregorius and Hicks went to right field. And a walk to Gleyber Torres. First walk by Johnson. He has 5 strikeouts.
With the 3-2 breaking ball, just didn't quite catch the outside corner. But all of a sudden, Andujar, anytime he walks to the plate, you just got a feeling he's going to hit something hard. Neither starter, when you look at the pitch counts, been very efficient with pitching at this point. Johnson, 61 pitches coming here.
Line drive caught by Hall. Hit it hard. 2 away.
Well, Coney, if they all even out, he's owed one because this ball was hit right on the nose. It's a line drive. You can't aim him.
Here's Greg Bird. 0-1. Nice soft toss over to first, chasing Torres back.
One of the problems, Paulie, when you look up at the standings and you see 5.5 back for the Yankees, it's sooner or later the Yankees are going to catch up in games played. They just haven't played the same amount of games. And Greg Bird, another bunt attempt there. It's kind of part of his arsenal now, but it's 4 games in the loss column. It's a 4-game series.
Right.
You tend to look at, okay, they're 41 games over and the Yankees are 30 over 500. Yeah, that means something. That's a high water mark that Boston set. So if you're the Yankees, we got to get to 40 over now. We're 30. But really pay attention to that loss column.
And Bird down on strikes to end the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the third. 4-1 Yankees.
More. J-Hap was officially placed on the DL today with hand, foot, and mouth disease. Aaron Boone saying that he is feeling a little bit better, but that virus has yet to run its course. They need for that to happen before he can come back and rejoin the team in that clubhouse. So Luis Cessa was called up from AAA. He is an option to take the place of Hap on Saturday. He's in the bullpen right now. It'll just be dependent upon how the Yankees have to use the bullpen from now until then. Also noteworthy, we said earlier that Sonny Gray is headed to the bullpen. He won't be available until Saturday, though.
Well, we'll see how many innings that CC gives the Yankees, because that's going to play a role in who pitches Saturday, as Merritt said, because if they have to use Cessa, then they've got to find a starter for Saturday. So using Lance Lynn yesterday really has ramifications in this series, and now Lance Lynn is going to slip into Sonny Gray's spot in the rotation. But if Sonny Gray pitched well yesterday, you wouldn't know how to do that, and Lance Lynn would have been available in one of these 4 games.
And on the back end, Sonny Gray's going to be available this weekend in the bullpen.
Starting on Saturday. And you wonder if they use Cessa tonight, would they use Sonny Gray as a starter on Saturday?
Got a lot of stuff going on, Michael.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You had a great interview, Michael, with Brian Cashman, and really, if you're trying to read the tea leaves, as they say, Chance Adams has pitched better lately in AAA. If you're looking at internal options, if you need more depth, and obviously that's the swap that was made today. Lance Lynn in and Sonny Gray to the bullpen. Justice Sheffield pitched well today again.
Deep drive, left field. That ball is over the monster. See ya. Home run for Pearce. And it's 4-2 Yankees.
I think CC knew what was coming as soon as he released this ball. Pearce hammered in a no-doubter. Location, and it kind of just stands out there and says, hit me. Those cutters, when they don't cut, those sliders, when they don't slide, Coney, they just sit there. They end up out there in the seats.
I think that was more of a slider, about 80 miles an hour coming in, about 105 going out.
Pitch to JD Martinez is inside 1-0. 6th home run for Pearce. Two-0.
Haven't really seen CC throw his changeup at all yet. I mean, you noted, Paulie, that he's had trouble with that two-seamer as well. There's one right there just sailing up and away. He's behind it and under it a little bit tonight.
We told you that the acquisition of Pearce was an under-the-radar pickup, and they got him to face left-handers. He's a .358 hitter against lefties. He slugs .657. Against righties, .258, slugs .403. And a strike. 3-2 on JD Martinez. Martinez has reached base safely in 45 consecutive games. Kind of had a stare down with the Red Sox when he negotiated the contract. A lot of outs in the contract that he signed. And with the Red Sox signing Martinez to a big money deal, they have the highest payroll in baseball. About $240 million. Martinez walks. Also, the general feeling is there's a lot of pressure on this team to win. A, because of their payroll. B, as we mentioned earlier, it's been reported in the Boston Globe, which, by the way, is owned by John Henry, owns the Red Sox, that the minor league system at AA and AAA is kind of barren. And you got a lot of big name free agents, including your closer. So it's got to happen this year for the Red Sox. So you saw some stirring in the Yankee bullpen. Let's see who begins to throw as Ian Kinsler digs in. Fly ball right field. Stanton battled that one and makes the play. Looks like it's going to be Jonathan Holder who will be first up.
Every out's a big out if you're Aaron Boone right now, because you know you're going to be in the pen, but it's just when. Every out that CC Sabathia can get you and continue to hold this lead, it's going to be a big out. I was watching Stanton make that catch down the line. Definitely the hardest right field to play in baseball. Just the way the foul pole is and how it goes straight back. And make a quick decision on anything down the line.
Oh, huge jump. No chance to get him. And a stolen base for J.D. Martinez. CC didn't even look at him.
Definitely part of the game plan. Hey, you know what? We're going to continue to run. Again, Michael, you're right. This is just kind of a cheat steal. Did his hand come off? Nope.
Strike to Nunez. One and two.
I think out of all the pitchers on the Yankee staff, CC Sabathia might be the most difficult for Aaron Boone to manage. Former teammate, he's got such respect for CC. He's going to give him a little more slack on the leash, and we've seen that really so far this year. To CC's credit, such a veteran presence on the mound, he can self-correct and find himself in the middle of an inning. But uncharacteristic for Sabathia, 4 walks. That's something you don't see from him all that much, and it's a big game, and he's pitching around some tough hitters and got into a jam with the bases loaded, walked in a run.
Ground ball to short. They throw to second. They got him. Bad base running by Martinez. A heads-up play by Didi.
Well, it sure is, Michael. I mean, when you look at what Didi was thinking as this ball's coming to him, he out of the corner of his eye knows where Martinez is, and he does a little shovel pass behind him because right there he turned and went to third. Took a chance. Big play.
And this time Glaber's there. Good tag. Torres is right there, and that's one skill set that Torres is off the charts at, is this quick little pop tag and up, show the umpire.
That's a big out right now. You got 2 outs and you have nobody in runners in scoring position. So again, you'd love to see CC get through this inning and have a couple clean innings, and then you could go to your bullpen. But it's wishful thinking here in Fenway Park. It's such a battle when you don't have your A game in Fenway Park to try to get outs.
Off of CC, scrambles after it, takes his time and throws it over Bird. Nunez is at third. They're going to wave him home. Nope, he holds up as Bird got there quickly. CC airmailed it over the head of Bird. And now it's second and third with 2 outs.
Gotta tell that CC says he's okay. Didn't get him in the pitching hand. It didn't look like it. Just looked like he just heaved it. Just picked it up and rushed it. I mean, nowhere near. Catches a break that Nunez doesn't scamper around. And another look on Yesbo. Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. And that's a straight pie toss right over his head. Good recovery additionally. I mean, it's not easy when you're on the mound and you get a line drive hit right back on you, and you could tell the minute he released it, it was gone.
You're right, Coney, because of the way the angle is over there, not a long ricochet, and it actually saved him a run there.
Here's Holt.
It's really not the number of pitches at 74. It's the number of pitches in a certain amount of innings. I mean, it's just these long innings really have to come to you, especially on a hot night, huh, Cody?
Yeah, it takes its toll on you as a pitcher. A lot of duress, high leverage situations.
That's going to be scored a hit and then an E1, allowing the runners to move up a base. 18 pitches in the first inning, 36 in the second, and now 21 here in the third. So we're in the third inning, and this is his second time through the order. 2-1. This one's a labor for Sabathia tonight. Fly ball, right field. Stanton makes the play, and CC gets out of further trouble. The Red Sox had a run on the Pearce home run. We'll go to the fourth. Yes, is brought to you in part by your Troy Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Troy Honda dealer for great deals on all models. By People's United Bank. Need a new checking account? Don't pick one out of left field. People's United Bank, member FDIC. And by Planet Fitness, the world judges, we don't. Be free. The great skyline of Boston.
A lot of history in that harbor, you know that?
A lot of tea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Probably still floating around in there.
Out of scoreboard 4-2. Yankees lead. Now the Red Sox did not get the hit on the E1 by Swihart. It was a complete E1. So they did not give him a base hit. Red Sox have 3 hits, Yankees have 4. Each team with an error. All right, let's manage right now. Sabathia has labored through every single inning. Will he pitch the 4th? And the numbers will back up that he struggles 3rd time through the order. Will they go to the bullpen? Or will they try to squeeze one more inning out?
Well, I think you send him out there, and if he has a 1-2-3, you know, you feel great about it. And if he has any difficulty whatsoever, you've got somebody ready.
You got the bottom of the order coming up as well.
Well, just a 9-hitter and then up to Mookie Betts. So 9-1-2. So it's a minefield that they'll be dealing with to try to squeeze that inning out of him. Voit with a high pop-up. And Kinsler makes the play. And here are the numbers that Aaron Boone has to consider. CeCe's first time through the order, opponents at 223. Second time, 209. Third time, it jumps to 376. And as for slugging, first time 338, second time 373, third time 645. Doesn't look like he's coming out of the game though, the way he's sitting there, although Holder continues to throw.
Cody, you have as a veteran pitcher over there and really just have the manager or the pitching coach come up to you and just basically say, what do you think? You got another one, you want to go here? I mean, they ever leave it up to you at this point?
Romine rips one to left field. That is going to be a base hit, and it goes into the corner. Romine's going to pick up a double.
Never in the 4th inning did that ever happen to me. Maybe in the 6th or the 7th. But
I think most pitchers are going to want to continue to go out there, and I think obviously with the leadoff, Romine with a double here, that you throw some more runs on the board here. I think CeCe will probably get another inning in.
the fact that Holder is still throwing, makes me doubt it at this point. Holder's a reliever who knows how to get ready in a hurry.
Pitch outside to Gardner.
Well, if you're Aaron Boone and you're the New York Yankees, and you're going to play bullpen against bullpen, you got to feel pretty good about your chances, right?
The Yankees are well positioned. Their entire bullpen, for the most part, is well rested.
And despite the struggles of Sabathia, they lead 4-2. And watching these first 3 innings, you almost get the feeling the Red Sox could have scored 8. There's a strike. Romine at second with 1 man out. The 2-1 to Gardner. 2-2. Oh, one-handed grab by a fan. Beautifully done. And the 3rd deck here at Fenway.
Thought it might have to be a Yankee fan to make a grab like that, but Patriot shirt kind of took that away from me.
2-2. Strike 3. Gardner down looking. Bolino's getting an earful from everybody, both sides.
Yeah, that usually means it's been a little inconsistent back there. When both sides are arguing, your breaking ball from Johnson. Probably close, but as a lefty, you see this ball away. It is away.
It's been more up and down so far, the strike zone, but that one was obviously a little bit wide, so Gardner did not like it, obviously.
There's Hicks. Inside. Hicks is 2 for 2. Infield single, a deep short in the first, and then a booming home run over the bullpens into the bleachers in right field. That was in the second. Hicks' 18th home run of the year.
Hicks is so good, and we've talked about it numerous times. Taking a lot of pitches outside the strike zone, that this is a really good matchup because Johnson doesn't have overpowering stuff. He wants you to leave the strike zone.
Now I'm told that they did not give Hicks a hit on that first inning ground ball. It was an E6. So 1 for 2, not 2 for 2, but he does have 2 runs scored. 2-1. 3-1. Take a look at the home run. Exit velocity presented by Spectrum Internet with faster download speeds and better performance. This had some velo on it. Launch angle 36 degrees, 397 feet, 101.2 miles per hour. The other way. And he walks. So now with first and second and 2 outs, here's Stanton.
These are the at-bats that you like to see, where you really can't pitch around your horse right there batting second.
That's the pitching coach, Dana Lavangi, to talk with Johnson.
What's he saying, Michael?
He's got his hand over his mouth.
Yeah, sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher right now.
The Red Sox coaches all sporting the sweatshirts tonight, Michael. They got a different weather report, right?
I guess. I think this is the first game this year that Aaron Boone wearing the road gray uniform rather than one of those tops.
I'll tell you one thing, they win tonight, it'll be on tomorrow. Huh?
1-0 to Stanton. Stanton's 1 for 2. This is his 10th game as a Yankee against the Red Sox. And he's 15 for 35. And you see how much of a different hitter he is against left-handed pitching. 36 hits and 100 at bats. Chases that pitch. 2-1. Waves at that one.
Another breaking ball. 9 in the count, going back-to-back breaking balls. Stanton looked dead fastball.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Yankees lead 4-2. We're in the 4th. Johnson about to deliver his 86th pitch of the night.
You looking at another breaking ball here, Paulie? You almost have to, right?
Well, you got to look out over the plate. He's not going to challenge you in, especially with the green monster. A lot of times when you look out over the plate, in the back of your mind, you're looking for something off speed.
David, do you ever select a pitch out of fear about a comebacker because he's so big and strong, and if you miss outside, you might get one right back up the middle?
I never really on any singular pitch, but
right.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, if you pitch consistently away to hitters that hit the ball hard like Stanton, then you're asking for balls back up the middle. So yes and no to answer your question.
Strike 3, Stanton down looking, and he looks up at the sky in disbelief. A big strikeout of the Yankee right fielder. No runs a hit and 2 men left. Must have caught the inside corner as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Planet Fitness. And that call brings in Jonathan Holder, as the Yankees will have a parade of relievers as they try to nail this one down. 39th game for Holder, 1-1, 2.06. He'll face 9-1-2 in the order. The Yankees are up by 2. And after your starter yesterday couldn't get out of the third, see the Audi scoreboard, 4-5-1, leading 2-3-1. And your starter today gives you just 3, as the previous manager of the Yankees was prone to say, it's not what you want. Because all of these games, well, they bleed into the next. So now you have to get 18 outs out of the bullpen. So who's going to be available tomorrow? Who are you going to stretch tonight? Are you going to use everybody in the bullpen tonight? You certainly want to nail this down. So it's not easy to take starters out early.
Puts a lot of pressure on the first reliever, because he's the one that's got to fill the slack. So you're hoping that Jonathan Holder can have a good first inning to maybe get 2 out of him to get you through 5.
Yeah, a lot of times you hear that old remark, you know, it's the whole war. It's not, you know, it's the whole battle. And tonight is the battle. I mean, you got to win this game. I mean, you scored early. You've got to win this game. Whether you got to empty your bullpen to win it, that's what you got to do.
So Holder promptly walks the number 9 batter, Jackie Bradley Jr. Well, they certainly have the superior arms out there. And they might have to use 6 of them, unless Holder can give you 2. Maybe you squeeze more than 1 inning out of Chad Green. And another thing to consider, 2 arms in the bullpen tonight you can't use. You have to stay away from Sessi and need him to start Saturday. And Sonny Gray, I mean, pitched yesterday, so he's not going to be ready until at least Saturday to possibly work out of the bullpen. So the bullpen's a little shorter than the numbers would indicate. Yesterday, Green threw 12 pitches, Holder threw 17. Chapman, Betances, Britton, and Robertson did not work yesterday. Lance Lynn, the bulk of the work yesterday, with 4 1/3 innings. High fly ball, left field. Gardner back. In front of the monster. He's going to have to play it off the monster. Jackie Bradley Jr. will head to 3rd. Heading to 2nd with a double is Betts. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out.
Brett Gardner's talking to Hicks out there. You know, this is what you have to do as a left fielder. You go back like you have a play on it. But as a center fielder, you've got to get over there and know this ricochet is going to beat Gardner just because of the way he played it. See, this bounces way over there.
Well, Gardner's trying to deke the base runners, is what Paulie's saying right here. He's trying to act like he's going to get it, and that way Hicks has got to back him up.
That's one of those things you work on in batting practice, taking balls off the green monster. It's a different ballpark, there's no doubt about it.
Yankees play the infield back with runners on 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. Benintendi at the plate takes the strike.
It's a high fly ball, and see Hicks is just watching. He can't be watching. It's too late breaking. Gardner had the runners held up. If Hicks was over there quicker, it's possible he might have held Betts at first base.
0-2 on Benintendi.
And that D kept Jackie Bradley from scoring too as well. This is the problem, Michael, you were talking about. That puts a lot of pressure on the first reliever of a starter that got knocked out after 3. And now Jonathan Holder struggling here to begin his outing. Who do you get up next now if this starts to unravel?
And the two guys that might be the guys that you would stretch to 2 innings of work, they both pitched yesterday. So that takes maybe that option away from Boone. Right back to Holder. Having a rundown. Throw home. Safe. And just got in. Yankees lead 4-3. What's the play there, David, to run right at Bradley?
Yeah, he panicked. We've got plenty of time. You don't make this decision to throw behind a runner. You got it. You had more time than you think. Holder just kind of panicked, and the last decision you want to make is to throw behind the runner, which he did, and that gave Jackie Bradley the window he needed with a great slide.
Yeah, I think you're taught you run at the front shoulder, immediately get him going back to third base, and then get rid of the ball. Last thing you want to do is give an athlete as Bradley an opportunity to beat the ball, which he did.
Just a little bit of a panic from Holder there. He had more time to freeze him and make a decision.
Pearce takes a pitch low, checks his swing, but first base umpire Adam Hamari said he went around.
Get another look right here.
It's actually a pretty good break. A ball comes right back to him. He's going to get an easy out and end up getting nothing.
So Yankee pitching early in the game now have made 2 bad throws. CC over the first baseman's head, that one to the wrong base. Pitch outside. So a 4-0 Yankee lead after an inning and a half has been whittled down to a 1-run lead. And the Yankees are playing back for the double play, so they will give up that 4th run on a ground ball. And there is nobody out. Runner goes. Throw to second, not in time. Holder was sleeping. Benintendi steals second. Holder completely napping on the mound.
These are the plays that kind of give you the momentum of everything going on. Absolutely just freezes, no clue.
Didn't get a lot of help either. I mean, Greg Bird's got to be screaming. I think the entire Yankee roster, including the bench, got caught a little late there. You could hear the step off in the replay from our mics. That didn't happen soon enough. Greg Bird's got to be screaming on first base to Holder.
So that eliminates chance at a double play. And now a 2-1 count on Pearce. High drive, left field. See ya. A 3-run home run by Pearce. And the Red Sox take a 6-4 lead.
The This is turning into a typical Fenway game, ups and downs offensively, and all of a sudden now the Yankees can't figure out how to get an out.
Now J.D. Martinez.
Well, these hanging sliders go a long way. I threw a lot of them in my career. Slider took a seat, and Pearce immediately off the bat knows it.
And that was the thing. I mean, if you're Holder, that's your out. You've got to get Pearce so you can pitch around Martinez and look for a double play. Hanging slider, 3-run homer.
Holder, who has been so good all year, has had an inning here where the moment seems to have overtaken him. That one is ripped into left center field. That's going to be a base hit, and it goes up against the monster. And J.D. Martinez will be at second. And now as Holder continues to struggle, you're kind of in that nebulous area where you might have to go to Sessa and cost yourself a Saturday starter, because you don't want to start sending out Robertson or Green in a situation like this. And here comes Larry Rothschild to talk with Holder. That's going to be Green.
Well, I agree. It's still a 2-run game. It's Fenway Park. If you have a high leverage situation here in the fourth, you've got nobody out. Now you got a man on second base. You need somebody to get you out of this jam. If Holder is not going to be the guy, if he's struggling in this inning, then yeah, you need somebody like Green or Robertson to get you out of this jam and give your offense a chance to come back. Boston's isn't in much better shape with their starter. He's given up 4 and got a high pitch count. They're going to be in that bullpen as well. This is shaking down to one of those Yankee Red Sox Fenway Park 5-hour masterpieces. It's not over by a long shot. You need to get out of this inning. And if Holder doesn't have it, then you need to make a move. As Michael said, he's been so good this year. It all started with a leadoff walk to the 9-hitter.
And there's a base hit to right by Kinsler. Martinez rounds third. He's coming home. He'll make it. Kinsler with an RBI single, and it's 7-4 Boston.
Well, Holder's having one of those nights, Coney, that it just doesn't matter. He can't get over what he wants to get over. When he does, he gets hammered.
I would have Green in this game. You know, Holder, it's been a Murphy's Law inning. A walk, defensive lapse, a bomb, and now a blooper.
In an eye blink, 5 runs for the Red Sox. And the Yankee 4-0 lead in the rearview mirror. There's a strike to Eduardo Nunez.
Still only a 3-run deficit, still early. It's Fenway Park. If you're Aaron Boone or Larry Rothschild, you can't let this inning go on much longer without making a change. Still nobody out.
They could be calling those throws over to get Green in. Although he has thrown 1 strike to Nunez.
Kinsler a threat to run.
There he goes. And a stolen base. Guys, is it just me or every single runner's had a running start?
Well, I mean, that's a big part of their game. You're not used to seeing the Red Sox do this, but you know, now, especially with the lead, they're going to push till the Yankees stop them.
I mean, you see them starting before the ball's even released, and Roman's had no chance.
No, and Holder's fairly slow to home plate and a very average pickoff move.
So now a 1-1 count to Nunez. Tries to bunt. 1-2. Holder, 7 earned runs allowed in the last 2 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs in his previous 41. Has he hit a wall? That one is driven to left field, and that is going to be a base hit. Fielded on the warning track by Gardner, scoring easily as Kinsler. Nunez with an RBI double. It's 8-4, and they've got to get Holder. And that's going to do it. A nightmare inning for this kid who has been so good for them, but simply had nothing here in the 4th inning. Still nobody out. Come on back. August 11th, when the Yankees take on the Rangers. It's Yankees Baseball Card Pack Day, and all guests in attendance will receive a pack of Yankees baseball cards courtesy of Topps. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. So Chad Green comes in to relieve Jonathan Holder, his 42nd game, and to be blunt, yesterday was an atrocious game that the Yankees played, just unacceptable. And today's not that much better, David. They have made a lot of mistakes out on that field.
Yeah, and it's, as you said, Michael, appropriately so. It's on the heels of an ugly game yesterday. It seems like there's a lack of awareness and intensity, that shows up with mistakes. And Chad Green, in my opinion, a little late to get this call, as 6 runs have scored without an out.
And pitch to Swihart is a strike. Chasing Nunez back. They run on the Yankees. Yankees have not paid attention to the runners at first. They've gotten huge jumps throws to the wrong bag. It's not what you put on an instructional video. Swing and a miss. First out of the inning as Swihart down on strikes.
Well, first things first, Coney, you've got to start to control their offense a little bit. I mean, you come in here, you know you're going to give up runs, but you've got to. Now you're seeing Sessa up, so they might have made a decision. Hey, you know what? We'll make other arrangements for Saturday.
All the more reason Chad Green should have been in earlier. Big difference between 8-4 and 6-4. When you have an inning that's unraveling on you. You know, Jonathan Holder's been great, but he's not a big strikeout guy. Yeah. The guy that's a high leverage guy to get you out of a big inning. Chad Green's a guy that can end an inning in a hurry if he's got his stuff. We just saw a big strikeout there. He's got a chance to mow through and get you out with swing and miss stuff. I just don't think you can allow your first reliever to come in and give up 6 runs without an out and allow that to happen.
Runner on second, 1 man out, 6 runs in. And there's always that knee-jerk second guessing. Why do you leave the starter in so long where he gives up so many runs? Well, this is why, because it opens up a Pandora's box of problems of how you're going to get those innings done and how it affects the rest of the series. Fly ball right field. Stanton's there for the second out, and the reason Sessa's up, you're not going to bring in your high leverage relievers down 4. So now you have to look for a starter on Saturday, and that starter might have to be Sonny Gray, who's taken out of the rotation on merit. Justice Sheffield pitched today for Scranton Wilkes-Barre, so he is not an option.
Start going down the list. Chance Adams. Start looking at the minor leagues and who lines up. He might even be somebody in Double-A.
That one is driven out to deep left center field. Hicks is going to play it off the wall. Nunez scores. Bradley has an RBI double, and it's 9-4 Boston.
This is going to be the 7th run of the inning, and Chad Green right down the middle and down. He's much better up with his fastball than he is down. And that's going to bang off the wall, and 2 outs here.
Yeah, denting that wall. I mean, first things first, you've got to shut this offense down at some point. Your team has been out on the field for 25 minutes just running all over the place.
Here's Mookie Betts. And going further about Saturday, if in fact Sessa comes in, lined up for Saturday at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Yankees AAA affiliate, is Chance Adams, who's coming off possibly his best start of the year.
Can you do that, though? Can you call the young kid up and throw him into the fire at Fenway Park in a 4-game series? I guess you don't. If you have to do it, you have to do it.
The only other option is to make a trade.
Yeah.
Missed outside. Three and one. Betts has walked twice, a double, a stolen base, a run scored. Benintendi's on deck. Another base hit right in front of Gardner. Bradley's going to be held up. Throw comes all the way in. Well, this is like a top 40 station. The hits just keep on coming, and the Yankees are unable to stop it.
Well, Mookie Betts has not been swinging it great, but he is leading the league and one of the better hitters in all of baseball. Another bullet to left field. Brett Gardner playing it quick.
One of the best pull hitters, too. I mean, he is so quick with his hands.
Yankees led 4-0 at one point after an inning and a half. 9 unanswered runs by the Red Sox. 9-4. Looking for more. Here's Benintendi. There's a strike. Betts took a couple of steps towards second, did not go. And Romine going through the signs. Will they throw through? They have the guard against Bradley coming home if they throw through to second. Oh and 2 on Benintendi. That one's fair. Inside third, kicks off the sidewall. Bradley scores. Betts goes to third. Throw comes to second. An RBI single for Benintendi, and it is 10-4 Boston.
When it rains, it pours, and Benintendi's a good hitter. Just slaps it the other way, just inside the bag, and now the Red Sox have a snowman on the board in the bottom of the fourth.
And Boone has to take the ball from Green. Red Sox have scored 8. They're looking for more with Pearce coming up. Brought to you by T-Mobile, David.
Well, it was a really Murphy's Law inning for Jonathan Holder, and that one really exacerbated the whole situation, throwing behind the runner and not getting him in the rundown, then a hanging slider, and then it just starts to unravel on him. By the time it's over, he did not record an out and gave up 5 hits and 7 earned runs.
Well, this is not the way you wanted this series to start. Yankees come in 4 games back in the loss column. They jump out to a 4-0 lead. And now it's 10-4, and you're turning it over to Luis Cessa to stop the bleeding here in the bottom of the 4th inning. He inherits first and third with 2 men out, and he has to face Steve Pearce, who already has 2 home runs. Bounced up there. 1-0. And you could just tell Benintendi took a false step towards second. The game plan, the playbook for the Red Sox against this Yankee team, we're going to run every single time we have a chance.
This isn't your grandfather's Red Sox team, that's for sure. They play defense, they run. They do a lot of little things to win baseball games.
Ground ball is short, and it's finally over. Red Sox 8 runs on 8 hits, and they leave 2. Awful inning for the Yankees. We go to the 5th. Since the managerial change. GMC scoreboard, we go to the 5th inning, and the Red Sox lead 10-4 after an 8-run 4th inning. 3 Yankee relievers used after CC Sabathia just lasted 3. So Brian Johnson has himself a lead, and he's going to face Didi Gregorius. 1-0. Gregorius with a long 3-run home run in the 1st inning, and then he struck out in the 3rd.
You get off to such a good start, and you think, wow, this is going to be the series. This is what's going to happen, and boom, an hour and a half later, you look at the scoreboard and how to get outs, and you're just getting your brains beat in 10-4.
At the 90 pitch count, obviously Johnson wants to get these 3 outs and get himself in position to grab a victory. No one warming for the Red Sox. Popped up, and that's in the seats and out of play. So now they're going to need Sessa to eat up innings.
Yeah, I would imagine Sessa's going to be out there for 3, 4, maybe 5. You're not going to see that bullpen up unless they get back into this game quick.
Well, it'd be nice to see the Yankees answer back a little bit, show some life. You know, that was as ugly as an inning as you will ever see. You know, if you're in that dugout, Paulie, I know you were. You know,
you're snapping.
Yeah, you're not happy.
It's the first time all year.
High drive down the right field line, and that is gone. A home run for Gregorius. He wrapped it around the pesky pole, and it's 10-5 Boston.
We couldn't have asked for a better thing. I mean, Didi's one of your guys that just keeps coming at you. All of a sudden, you know, both these teams might be in double figures before this game's over. I mean, it's just the way it is. But this is the first time before you go in that something off the field seemed to kind of affect the way this team was. And yesterday you saw it, and it's kind of gone into today. But you know, let's keep hacking away and see if we can get close. My whole career, I thought I could hit one down that pesky pole. Never happened. Didi got one right here. As a hitter, Coney, you got to start remembering that, you know, every single at bat, you got to make it count right now. That you realize you've got a big deficit, so you just cannot give bats away right down the line.
It's a character test for a team right now.
And he could not hold up, so Gleyber Torres goes down on strikes.
As much as you try, Paul, you can't sit on the bench and will, you know, hits. You know, but you can how you go about it, how you react to that last half inning. It's a good start from Didi, but the type of at-bat you get. The last thing you need right now on the heels of a couple of ugly games is to lay down.
Right.
You need to show some fight. And that doesn't mean you have to get hits. It's the intensity level that you show. The type of at-bat you continue to try to get. Show some fight.
Strike 3, and Duhar down looking.
I kind of fooled on what you're looking for here. A couple breaking balls, and then you sneak that fastball, and it just freezes him up, locks him up inside.
And you know, from observing the home plate umpire all night, you better swing the bat, because he's not afraid to call strikes, or borderline pitches have gone the pitcher's way.
Pitch to Bird is low. One and one. One and two. Reggie Willits had to skip rope to get out of the way of that ground ball. Yankee first base coach. Quick feet. 1-2. Swing and a miss. 3 more strikeouts for Johnson. Yankees have 5 runs on the night, 4 of them because of that man. A 3-run home run in the first inning. And here in the 5th inning, right down the right field line, a solo shot. We're halfway through. It's 10-5 Boston.
for opinion. Yeah, you will get opinions and analysis on everything. The Yankees in the AL East as it heats up. Plus, get an entertaining twist on the latest headlines from around the sports world. That's every weekday at 3 o'clock right here on Yes.
J.D. Martinez swings at the first pitch of the bottom of the fifth, and it goes into the gap in left center field. He'll pick up his second double of the night.
Trying to get a strike down the middle.
Wow.
J.D. Martinez, he's having that kind of year. He's really had that kind of run over the last couple of years.
I remember we were here in April. I mean, he got off to a horrible start. Just very mediocre. And then, man, I'll tell you what, the weather changed, and so did he.
GMC scoreboard 10-5. Boston leads. Have 12 hits. Yankees have 6. Of the Yankees' 6 hits, 3 of them home runs. 2 by Didi. That one's lined down the left field line. It's a foul ball into the stands by Ian Kinsler. That one gets past Romine as Martinez moves to third.
Well, the last thing you can afford is just to give extra bases and extra runs when you're trying to fight back in. That skips off the plate right off Romine's shin guard. You've set up for an easy run.
A fastball. You don't look for that down there.
Yankees have to bring the infield in. Pitch is low. Two and 2 on Kinsler. Well, they issued number 5 to Kinsler, which was proudly worn by Nomar Garciaparra. As great as Nomar was, he never got a chance to enjoy the first World Series victory. He was not on that team. He was traded. Two-two. Looped into left field. That's trouble. That is a base hit. Run scores. Kinsler at second with an RBI double. It is 11-5.
Well, it's line to line. It's like there's no fielders out there. Anything they put in place, finding a hole. But you know, is this a wake-up call? And will it show up tomorrow in a game well played? And sometimes you wonder that. I mean, it's been fairly easy for the Yankees. They've been that good. But right now, if you're Aaron Boone, you know, you realize how long a season is, and you're going to have games like this where everything you do goes wrong. But you hate to see it happen in the first game of a 4-game series against Boston.
Nunez pops it up. You know, Paul, with all due respect, if yesterday wasn't a wake-up call.
Yeah. You know, I hear you, and there are times it's, you know, you got to look in the mirror as a team and realize who you are. You know, you also have to look at the record. I mean, we're as good to be 30 games over 500. We're pretty darn good, but you just can't show up and expect it to continue to happen. And you know, there's so much baseball left that good things can happen. But you know, you got to realize you just don't show up.
Here's Swihart. That was popped up, and Duhar says, "I got it," and he does for the second out. Certainly still plenty of time to try to make up a deficit. This ballpark plays where you can score runs. But the thing that really just has to irk Yankee management is the sloppy play and the lackadaisical play. That's 2 days in a row. Bad decisions in the field. As David said earlier, you don't criticize somebody for giving up hits or for making physical errors, mental errors, not hustling, not thinking. That bothers you. Here's Brock Holt. And there's a strike. That one gets away from Romine, but Kinsler stays put.
You know, the addition of Kinsler on Boston's side has pushed this guy, Brock Holt, back into kind of more of a super utility role, which he's better suited for. But Kinsler, kind of under the radar, has had a really good career. Almost 2,000 career hits. A little over 1,900. He's going to get there.
Grounded to short, backing up is Didi. The long throw. They got him. So that'll do it in the fifth. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left. 5 in the books. It's 11-5 Boston. But start your game night on Yes with full pregame coverage beginning at 6, and then after the final out, come back for the extra innings postgame. Then on Saturday, the Yankees are back on Yes with full coverage starting at 3 right here on Yes. First pitch in that game should be around 4 o'clock. So now they go to the bullpen. Brandon Workman first up. And on a really good Red Sox team, you would say that the bullpen is not exactly their best part. But Voit grounds one to short. 1 pitch, 1 out. Still effective, but again, it's not their best component. Purple brick scoreboard, 11-5. Boston over the Yankees, top of the 6th inning. They have a top flight closer in Kimbrel, but you can get to it. And they also do not have a left-hander. There's Austin Romine. And a strike.
Oh.
0-2.
Boy, a big breaking ball by Workman. You can tell a lot of arm speed there. Really fools the hitter.
Swing and a miss. Romine down on strikes, 2 away.
A big breaking ball and then to a short slider. Two different type of breakers in the same at bat. That's pretty tough to handle.
For the majority of his minor league career, Workman was considered more of a starter prospect. Has found some success in the bullpen.
Coming in, throwing strikes. Workman's 29 years old, from Texas. His 4th big league season. And he was one called up with Chris Sale going on the DL. Made his major league debut in July of 2013 and actually made 7 appearances in the postseason that year, did not allow an earned run. And pitched the 1-2-3 8th inning in the clinching 6th game of the 2013 season. And he's in the club in 2015 and 2016. He was rebounding from Tommy John surgery.
Just feels like, I know you and I have talked about this, Paulie, and Michael as well, that there's so many good arms nowadays, and every team has a guy throwing 95 plus. Last year in the minor leagues, there was 53 minor league pitchers that threw the ball 100 miles an hour. 53 different pitchers.
Chop to first. Pearce flips to Workman. Now Workman works a 1-2-3 6th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Red Sox up by 6. Go back to 1985. Not exactly refreshing for the Yankees. You might remember This game on this date, August 2nd, 1985. 2 men get thrown out at home plate, tagged out by Carlton Fisk of the White Sox. Bobby Meacham and Dale Bearer, who then goes to class with Billy Martin. When have you seen that? And Carlton Fisk at the ballpark tonight. That is one for the ages. You ever see that, Paul?
I don't think we'll see that one again. That was a weird play.
Here's Jackie Bradley Jr. And August 2nd is also a very sad day in Yankee history. In 1979, the Yankee captain Thurman Munson died in a plane crash in Canton. And for men of a certain age in New York City, my age, it's the first time you really cried over a sports star, and you just couldn't believe that the great Thurman Munson, who was there as the Yankees transitioned from a bad team, and then George Steinbrenner bought them, and then Thurman became such a big part of 2 World Championship teams that he was taken so early. And to this day, you think about it and you just get emotional. He was that great.
Still hurts.
And it would hurt even more if everybody out there within the sound of her voice would know Diana Munson, who is such a great, great woman. You see her at Alzheimer's Day. She's kept Thurman's legacy alive. And just an amazing woman. And I'm sure she still hurts. And a day like today certainly is painful for her. This is what Thurman Munson did in 11 big league seasons, all with the Yankees. Won the Rookie of the Year, the MVP, 76, 7-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves, and then a world champion in 77 and 78. And he played great in 76 when the Yankees were swept by the Reds. Clutch, gritty, gutty. And I really truly believe that if he had lived, he would have ended up being Yankee manager. That's how much George Steinbrenner cared about him and how much Munson cared for the Yankees.
Didn't him and Fisk get in a pretty good brawl one time at home plate?
They were not fond of each other.
I think there was a good little brawl between the 2 catchers.
It's like when you have the hockey fights, the goalies just go fight just because there's nobody else to hook it out with.
Line drive left field, a base hit for Mookie Betts. I remember I hosted a Yankee Red Sox luncheon way back when, and here's what David's talking about. Actually, yesterday in 1973, the Yankees had brawls like this all the time, and one of the Red Sox, I think it was Bill Lee, said Thurman hated Fisk, Nettles hated me. He goes, and everybody hated Lou.
Wow.
I mean, those games, it was, if you were lucky enough to be at the stadium for those games, the place was rocking. And a strike to Benintendi.
You hear stories about Billy Martin. You know, we talk about today and the different style of managing, and you make a mistake with Billy Martin managing, he just point down at the end of the bench. You're out of the game, you just go sit down there.
Well, it was here when he pulled Reggie, Hall of Famer, pulled him out of the game.
That's not a knock on today's style, it's just different.
Way different.
In the 70s though, wow.
Yeah.
Billy,
Yeah.
if he was really mad at you, sometimes he wouldn't, he was too mad to even talk at you. Just point, just get out of my face. Go sit down there, you're out.
High fly ball. Left field going back Gardner. He's going to have to play it off the wall. Betts rounds third. He'll come home. And it is an RBI double for Benintendi. And it's 12-5 Boston. Well, you wonder if what happened here at Fenway Park all those years ago could happen today. The game's different. And Billy thought that Reggie did not hustle on a play to short right field. And Reggie said to Paul Blair, he wants me? And Paul Blair said, hey, that's what I'm told. And then it was on, as they say. And the person that really stopped it from escalating was the late, great Elston Howard, who stood in the middle of Billy and Reggie. And then the story goes that, you know, I think it was Fran Healy who told Reggie, go to the hotel. Don't stay in the clubhouse. Billy is not in a good mood.
He's breaking the bat fit.
And I hear it all the time on the radio show simulcast. You know that you need those managers now. You got to get players. I don't think it works because I think the balance of power has shifted to players, and I think GMs are not going to hire that kind of manager anymore. I don't think it works or would.
We saw a little bit of it with Phil Nevin in yesterday's game, which is yeah. And if done properly, there's still a place for that. There's still a wake-up call to be had. Collectively, teams can kind of fall asleep. You know, the intensity level, it happens. It's a long season. Everybody is in their own little bubble. Got injuries or a little bit flat today. Or hand, foot, and mouth disease. Something's going on, yeah.
I think you're right, Cohen. I think there has to be a right amount of it, you know, because, you know, Jim Torre would never raise his voice for a month. But, boy, when he did.
That one's deep and gone. Home run number 3 for Steve Pearce. A 2-run blast. Oh, he's having some game. 14-5 Boston.
Well, he's got 8 for the season, and he's got 3 of them tonight. Ball's banging off the light tower out there. You know, it's all fun and games right now for the Boston Red Sox, and you know, it's a bit of embarrassment for the Yankees. But what do? It shows up as one loss in the loss column. You better be able to sleep on it and get over it.
He might get a chance for number 4. That one's driven deep to center field. Off the bat of Martinez, back is Hicks. Leaps and he makes the play for the second out.
Well, it always comes down to pitch quality, Paulie, and you know this. And another hanging slider right up, out over the plate. When you're not making good quality pitches, especially off-speed pitches that hang out over the plate to this team, the #1 scoring offense in the American League, in the major leagues, really, this is what's going to happen. Comes down to the quality of the pitch.
They are teeing off. That's a fly ball to right center. Hicks is there to retire Kinsler. Oh, what a night for Steve Pearce. The Red Sox first baseman has pierced the sky 3 times. He's having a week here on a Thursday night in Boston. NYC hosts the Vancouver Whitecaps. The city looks to stay unbeaten this season at the ballpark in the Bronx. Coverage begins at 8, presented by Etihad Airways right here on Yes, and streaming on Fox Sports Go. NYCFC currently in second place in the Eastern Conference and pushing toward a third straight playoff appearance. We go to the 7th inning, and the pitch to Hicks is outside as Workman begins his second inning. 14-5 Red Sox. All right, guys, you always hear this and you see the Cadillac scoreboard, and it usually comes from fans, guys that have not been in the crucible after games like this, after stretches like this. Do you believe in the flip the spread table in the clubhouse? Does that happen? A, and B, does it have an effect when it happens?
Timing is everything. When Joe Torre had a meeting, it was effective because he didn't overdo it. You know, it's individual preference. It's up to the manager. He's the skipper. So if there needs to be a collective message being sent, it's on him to choose when. I don't believe in the flip the spread over, you know, any of this, tearing up the clubhouse as much anymore. I don't know if that does any good. Really, I saw Tim Raines actually get on the floor and start eating some lunch meat off the floor one time.
I had chicken wing hang on my plate one night. Lou kicked the thing and it blew the turkey up. I was like ducking. The next thing you know, I had a turkey leg on my plate. But this is where I think was important, and I was talking between innings where this is, if you're the manager, you kind of get a read on the players, and if they're starting to mope around, if guys aren't, running the balls out. I mean, I just saw a play Aaron Hicks made in center field. Brett Gardner and Stanton both sprinted over to dead center field. Those are the things as a manager you like to see. You don't start seeing things like that, then you have an issue.
That one is ripped, and what a play by Kinsler for the first out of the inning.
Kinsler's having a career here as a Red Sox. I mean, what can you say about Aaron Hicks? He's had a great game. Didi's had a great game. I mean, there's some positives out here. Just don't look at the scoreboard.
It's not their fault.
No. And you see this in Yesmo. It's still going to get caught, and it's still going to be a great play.
Pitch to Stanton is high.
You know, I was in Houston earlier this year and talked to A.J. Hinch, and they do a defensive practice similar to what the old infield practice used to be. And in pitchers' fundamentals, you see it in spring training, and then you hardly see it happen during the regular season. The last two games would be something that, if I were a manager, I'd say, you know what, hey Glaber, let's just, you need to cover second base, on these kind of plays. And Jonathan Holder, we're going to go work on PFB, because if you get this play again, you're not going to panic and throw the ball behind the runner. So those sorts of defensive practices can be incorporated when you see these kind of things happen during the game. You start getting guys out early, taking extra ground balls and working on these plays, reminding them, hey, talk to each other. It's like basketball almost, where you have to talk on defense, remind each other. We saw a play here where Holder got stolen on second base, and nobody yelled at him. Even though, it's the pitcher's responsibility to keep track of where the runners are, but every now and then the runner will take off on you, and Greg Bird didn't say a word on first base. And it's collectively, you've got to be into the game a little more.
You can also have meetings to settle nerves. And I remember Joe Torre was as good as that as anybody. It wasn't always about, you're not doing this, you're not doing this. Sometimes it's about, hey, you know what? We're going through this, but you know what? The cream always comes to the top. And if you always get the feeling that your manager believes that things are going to happen, you do realize the number of games that you have left.
There it goes. Stanton crushes one over the wall, over the monster. A home run for Giancarlo Stanton, and the Yankees have scored 6.
I'll tell you one thing, Cody, you can't tell long stories in this ballpark because they start ricocheting them off mass spike out there. That ball went out of the stadium.
His 3rd home run this year against the Red Sox. His 8th ribby. His 16th hit in 10 games against the Red Sox.
It's a good chance there's some broken glass out there somewhere on a car.
Oh, my wife's not driving by. Wow.
Just leaned into a hanging breaking ball.
This leaves the stadium, folks.
Ground ball to first. Pearce flips to Workman. 2 outs.
Oh, we got John Sterling woken up next to us over here.
Yeah, that's on Lansdowne Street, maybe over it. And Paul's right, the next street after Lansdowne is the Mass Pike. Gleyber Torres trying to hit the Mass Pike, 0-1.
That's a big league curveball there, huh, Cody? Up and down, 12-6, they call that one, and it just, you don't see it in baseball as much as you used to.
Up the middle. Grabbed by Kinsler. Throw to first. Got him. That's a resume inning for Ian Kinsler. Wow. Took a base hit away from Hicks and took a base hit away from Gleyber Torres. Flashing the leather. One of the newest Red Sox. Time for the stretch. Brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 14-16-1 Red Sox, 6-7-1 for the Yankees. Sabathia lasted 3. Brian Johnson 5. Didi with 2 home runs. Steve Pearce with 3 and 6 ribbies. You might wonder, who are the other Red Sox that have had 3 home runs against the Yankees? Mo Vaughn did it in '97. Kevin Millar did it in '04. Pearce tonight, all 3 at Fenway Park. So Nunez takes low, 1-0. Look at this play by Kinsler to take a hit away from Gleyber Torres. I will tell you this, I'm not sure that Gleyber's moving the way it was earlier in the year.
When you come back, the last hurdle is to get it out of your mind, where you know it's not hurt, and you see he's kind of pulling that leg. Doesn't take away from the play that Kinsler made. I mean, that's a play that you can't really work on.
Nice play by Gleyber Torres, and he takes it away from Nunez. And we go back to the studio. Bob Lorenz with another update. Sandy Leon is hitting for Blake Swihart here in the bottom of the 7th. Cadillac scoreboard 14-6. Boston leads the Yankees. Yankees led this game 4-0. Going to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Popped up. Gregorius makes the play, 2 down. So Luis Cessa, who was supposed to start on Saturday, had to come in to mop up here tonight. You wonder, will the Yankees make one move tomorrow where they bring up a Tommy Kahnle to give them something extra in the bullpen, and then another move to get a starter up here for Saturday? And Chance Adams is certainly lined up to start Saturday. He's not on the 40, but there's room on the 40. They could make that move.
They could, and then that's an off-season decision they'd have to make on him anyway. So if he's part of the future plans, then it's just a little bit early to throw him on.
Chopped to second base. Torres is there, and Cessa works a 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th. We'll go to the 8th. All Red Sox 14-6. Joe Kelly's coming in. Yankeeography, history of the Yankees, and see the definitive documentary chronicling the years 1980 to 2003, featuring legends like Don Mattingly, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, and the rise of the late 90s dynasty. It's a show that you don't want to miss. It's right here on Yes. Joe Kelly had a little scuffle earlier in the year with Tyler Austin no longer with the Yankees, so he comes in. This will be his 49th game. He'll face Andujar, Bird, and Voit. You know, we were talking between innings, see the Hyundai scoreboard 14-6. And you're talking about possibilities for Saturday. And one guy that we didn't mention is a guy that was demoted today. would they go to Sonny Gray to pitch that Saturday game? It would be on 2 days rest, working off a short outing, and I asked David, can you do it on 2 days rest? And you think you can, but you're on a pitch count.
You'd definitely be on a pitch count. He's ready out of the bullpen anyway, so you may just want to keep it that way and find a spot starter somewhere, and he would back him up. You may be looking at almost like a piggyback start situation.
That one is ripped to left field, and Benintendi makes the play. You almost wonder, would they go the route of a Tampa Bay and do an opener start? You've certainly got great arms out of the bullpen, and you could do it that way. But that depends on tomorrow, how Severino pitches and the length he gives you.
That's a great point. You know, this puts the emphasis on Severino tomorrow. The wheels are spinning. I mean, they always are when you're trying to run a baseball team, you know, management, general manager.
Bird loops one to left field. Coming on is Benintendi to make the play, 2 down. Now a quick word from Spectrum.
Spectrum Internet. No data caps, no contracts. Just faster speeds with better performance.
2 down in the 8th, and that'll bring up Luke Voit. His first Yankee game, he is 0 for 3.
You know, it's amazing. A week ago, you make all these trades, all these things. These are decisions that Aaron Boone didn't think he was going to have to make, and then all of a sudden, you know, AJ Happ DL'd. You know, there's some weird circumstances going around right now. They'll get through it. It's not the ideal time to you know, be playing by the seat of your pants here.
Yeah, that Lance Lynn trade that looked a little curious at first. Now it makes a lot of sense. And also, you know, it's really, I've always said this, it's your AAA rotation is really important.
Yeah.
Your starters numbers 6 through 10, as we're in that territory now. Who's next? Is it Chance Adams? When is Justice Sheffield ready? Luis Sessa got burned tonight. Lance Lynn's in for Sonny Gray.
As Brian Cashman today, why has Sheffield not been considered when you had to fill these spots? He goes, because there are a couple of guys ahead of him. He said, but you know, do I like Justice Sheffield? He goes, no, we love Justice Sheffield. We think he's going to be great. He was asked for by everybody during the trade deadline, and I said no to everybody. He said, we have big plans for him, but at this point, there are people that we think are more suited to start up here. Line drive to right field. Voit is retired. Yankees go down in order against Kelly. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 14-6 Boston. The WB Mason postgame with Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Meredith Morakovitz as they bring you highlights, analysis, and clubhouse reaction, plus a look ahead to Game 2 of this crucial series. It's right here on Yes. Well, if anybody gets on here in the 8th inning, Steve Pearce will have another chance. There's a ground ball to second, and the throw to Sessa, they get him to retire Jackie Bradley Jr. Nice play by Gleyber Torres. Hyundai scoreboard 14-6 Boston over the Yankees. Sellout crowd here at Fenway Park, 37,317. Here's Mookie Betts. Big night for him. He's been on base all 5 times. He's 3 for 3 with 2 walks, a ribby, a couple of runs scored, stolen base. And now he has 4 hits. John Henry, the Red Sox owner, was quoted today in the Boston Globe saying that he's told Mookie Betts, we want you here for your entire career, and they have asked him about negotiating a long-term contract. And Betts told them, well, I appreciate it, but I'm going to go a year at a time. So he's signed, or they have control of him through the 2020 season. After that, I guess he's going to let the bidding begin.
He's some kind of player. There's no doubt about it. The more you watch him, the more you want to impress at what he does on the field as far as hitter. Stealing bases, playing the outfield, just all-around baseball player that can do every facet of the game.
Still just 25 years old, and that's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, everything is, you know, I'm either first or second to Mike Trout, and I think sometimes it's overlooked because of Mike Trout, but this guy's a superstar.
And his mom knew when he was born. She gave him the initials MLB because she knew he was going to play in the majors. On deck is Steve Pearce as he will go for home run number 4.
Guess it's poetic justice that the Red Sox finally have somebody named Mookie on their side, right?
Yeah, that was.
The other Mookie's kind of, you know, didn't work out so well.
Lined into left field. It's a base hit for Benintendi. His 3rd hit of the night. And that brings up Pearce.
The first baseman, number 25, Steve.
Boy, not a lot of holes in this lineup, Cody. You watch Benintendi and Betts. Pearce getting quite an ovation after 3 home runs.
There have been 18 4-home run games in Major League Baseball history. Last one by Scooter Gennett of the Reds last year. Bounced up there.
That is more rare than a perfect game. 18 in the history of the game.
A lot of homers. Very nice.
He's hit 13 home runs against the Yankees. That's the most he's had against any opponent. In a game like this, Paul, is there any way you're not trying to hit a home run here?
Well, it's very hard not to block it out, and especially when you hear the crowd saying this, and now you really can't swing 3-0 when you're up 8 runs. But you're hoping that Sessa will get back in the count and give you a shot.
There's a strike. takes a walk, and that loads the bases with one out for J.D. Martinez. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Aaron Boone has seen enough from Luis Cessa. He's going to go to the bullpen, and J.D. Martinez is up. It's been about Steve Pearce tonight, and the Land Rover drives of the game about Steve Pearce.
Well, sit down because there's more than one. It's number one. Gets him on the board. That would be number 2. Steve Pearce wasn't done yet. That was the big one that put them ahead, and then bam, it kind of put it out of reach. His 3rd of the game, 8th of the year. Land Rover's drive of the game.
And he just worked a walk that ended Luis Cessa's night. And so the Yankees go to Zach Britton. Why Britton in this game? He hadn't pitched since Saturday. So they have to get him into a ball game, and now he comes in bases loaded, 1 out to face J.D. Martinez. 1-0.
Well, that's exactly right, Michael. He needs the reps.
Could not hold up. Grounded to first. Bird loses every play as a run scores. Look to second. Britton wasn't covering first. And the follies continue.
You see the lefty late covering and getting over there, and by that time he makes up his mind it's not going to be soon enough. And then also probably right here he reads Bird in the flip there, and I'm not sure why Bird didn't go to second base there.
That's an RBI for Martinez. And the bases remain loaded, 15-6. Talked to Buck Showalter, got a scouting report on Britton, and he said, great competitor, really great guy. He said there will be a game every now and then in the mix where he just can't control his stuff, and we've already seen that game. We just couldn't throw a strike. He said, and the other bit of advice, he said, I actually told Aaron Boone this, leave him alone for 15 minutes after the game. He's just got to decompress. You just can't deal with him for 15 minutes after the game. But Showalter was effusive in what Britton's about. Line right at Didi, and that's going to be a double play. And that will end the inning. We go to the 9th inning, and a game you're going to want to forget. Aaron Boone will, 15-6 Red Sox. And 1 for Boston, 6-7-1 for the Yankees. And Ryan Brazier will pitch his 10th game for the Red Sox. 9th inning, Romine, Gardner, and Hicks. Popped up, right side, out of play. Think about how odd this game is. So Sabathia gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. The Yankee bullpen, who many consider the best bullpen ever assembled, has given up 13 runs in this game. Jonathan Holder had a complete meltdown where the game got out of hand. In the bottom of the 4th inning, the Red Sox put up 8, and that was it. And it's going to be an interesting post game right here on Yes. Aaron Boone's going to have to answer why stay with Holder as long as you did. Why was Holder the first guy you went to? How come you didn't try to squeeze another inning out of CC? Lackadaisical play again. Bad fundamentals. And the first-year Yankee manager is going to have to answer those questions.
Uh-oh.
Right under our booth.
It's close. I had a good angle at that one, Coney. Ready to snatch it.
Swing and a miss. Romine down on strikes.
The Yankees are kind of wishing maybe that little rain shower was a little heavier and lasted a little longer earlier in the game.
Should have gave a different forecast, Coney. I was a little too on point, you know. Should have brought like a severe thunderstorm warning or something in.
So here's Gardner. He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground ball to first. So the Red Sox will move 6.5 games ahead of the Yankees, 5 in the loss column. And there's a strike. And 2 on the Yankee left fielder. That one is driven into right center. Long run for Betts. He's not going to get there. It's into the triangle. And it will bounce around out there as Gardner will get himself a stand-up triple. Now a quick word from Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
Memorial Sloan Kettering, changing how the world treats cancer for over 130 years.
So obviously no quit in the veteran Yankee as he puts a good at bat together and gets himself a triple. That'll bring up Aaron Hicks.
You mentioned, Michael, about the bullpen of the Yankees today. Took a hit, definitely, collectively, when you have that kind of a game and suck up that many earned runs. Coming into the game, they were 2.86, which was first in MLB, and now it's 3.13, which drops them to second to the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen.
Three and 0 to Hicks. Hicks has hit a home run, walked, and was robbed of a hit by a beautiful diving play by Kinsler in the 7th. Strike, 3-1. Stanton's on deck.
It's just one of those games, Paulie. If you're a minor league pitcher, you better have your cell phone on.
Just in case. Make sure that they got your number.
Somebody's trying to get a hold of you. You might want to answer.
Three and 2.
Coming off the trade deadline too, you know Brian Cashman's sleep deprived right now. You know there were some all-nighters pulled in, and now hey, you'll be up tonight too trying to figure it out.
Check swing, did he go? No, he did not. So a walk to Aaron Hicks, and that's going to bring up Stanton, who last time up just launched one into orbit for his 25th home run of the year. Not holding Hicks on, so he'll take second. There he goes. Pitch is high. So Hicks goes to second on defensive indifference. This is how his home run looked on StatCast. Projected distance 432. Exit velocity almost 115 miles an hour, 25-degree launch angle.
That's ringing the bell.
I think the total distance, that's before it went into the darkness out there.
One and one as Brazier dials it up to 96. Sky-high pop-up behind the plate, and Leon cannot make the play. And that gives Stanton another swing.
Not sure if this hits the screen or if he just doesn't get there.
I think he just doesn't get there, David.
That's my take. That's what I thought I saw from up here, and that one was up there a ways, and those pop-ups that go straight up tend to have some movement coming back down.
Second and third, one man out, ninth inning. Yankees down 15-6. Now, Didi Gregorius is on deck. He has 2 home runs tonight. And this is an interesting stat dug up by James Smythe. No game in Major League history has ever had opposing players hitting 3 home runs in a game. Never. So Pearce has 3, Didi has 2. Richie Sexton and Jeremy Brunitz each had 3 home runs as teammates with Milwaukee at Arizona in 2001, but never on opposing teams. Line into the seats, foul. Three and two. High fly ball, center field. Bradley will make the catch. Tagging is Gardner. He'll score. It's a sac fly for Stanton. And the Yankees score their 7th run. So that brings up Gregorius.
Obviously, the 2 home runs got him right to 20 already. Once again, Didi Gregorius with some pop.
Also, our guys back in our studio, Quags, said that the last time the Yankee bullpen allowed 13 or more earned runs was April 19th of 2009 against Cleveland when they gave up 14. The last time before that was August 31st of 2004 when they gave up 16 earned runs. So it doesn't happen often. It happened tonight. Hit sharply to short. Holt gets the hustling Gregorius, and that will do it as the Red Sox win by a score of 15-7. A big night for Steve Pearce. 3 home runs and 6 runs batted in. He has played for every team in the American League East, and he seems like he's found a home here in Boston, playing part-time at first base. Certainly hurt the Yankees tonight. Well, a game that you want to forget. If you can etch-a-sketch it out of your mind, that's what you're going to do. The Yankees will try to do it. We'll come back. Red Sox win 15-7.